Time for this tune. Bunch of people in them. Mm. Oh. Hello.
Hey Gabe,
Hello.
we are at the
Hello.
Ashram, Maryland division.
Mm-hmm. I am in the Florida division. Welcome.
Hey everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hello. Yeah, great to see you, Inara. Been a while.
It has. I'm in Portugal now.
Oh, nice. I always I keep hearing about Portugal. It keeps coming up. Need to get there.
Yeah, definitely my favorite place so far.
Yeah, my sister, my
Sister,
older
my older
sister,
sister,
Sunny,
Sunny,
she goes
she
there.
goes there.
Keith, your mic is hot. You're bouncing.
Welcome, Doodles. Excellent. We got all the friends here. Ooh, I like that background, Kevin. Mm,
Look at Gaia's going
Yeah,
crazy.
Kevin always has the most interesting backgrounds.
yeah.
What is this?
I can also judge just looking at what people wear, like what their weather is like over there. So I hope my river shirt says the same for me.
Here in California, the wind last night was blowing like crazy.
Wow.
It did that last year at this time, but it was very, very dry before that. So we had fires. We had flood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear it's been quite wet in California recently, which is maybe good.
Oh, that's sweet.
Actually, so you're talking about that wind, Keith. In fact, a college friend and classmate was living in California, and last year at this time with those winds, knocked a tree over, and it actually killed him. Unfortunately, so about a year ago, a friend of mine died from some winds toppling trees in California.
That almost
Wow.
happened to Loretta. She actually had a tree crash through her bedroom and take out like her ceiling, and it was pretty awful.
Yeah, so be careful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all you can do is be sure there aren't trees going to fall on your bedroom.
Yeah, my in fact, my neighbor this morning toppled two tall palms in his yard, and partially in our yard as well. Um, Shook the house. I was a little nervous about how that situation was going to go. Originally, he was going to knock him into the street, and I was like, "That's a really bad idea."
Friend of mine that I've known for maybe 30 years by now lives on a street with about more than a dozen of these palm trees that have been growing since the 20s, and they're 150 feet high or something like that. They're tremendously tall trees. When they come down, it's going to be a mess.
Oh, lovely. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started here. Thank you for everybody for joining us this Saturday morning. Still admitting some people as they come in, but let's start a kind of a round robin and do some quick introductions and welcomes. Any shares if you have anything. So I'm going to start with Angela and say hi.
Hey everybody. Happy Saturday morning. Um, a few like little updates on me is like I've been working on my own business related to the polymath stuff, and it's been a long journey. And there have been some exciting developments in that. Of course, for me, this relates to human potential and collective intelligence and collective thriving and like the kinds of things that we all care about. Um, but I've got my own thing. I've got some other legit partners in the space who are wanting to work together. I'm exploring working with Mensa, the High IQ Society. The Alternative Planetary Futures Institute recently invited me to be a member of their scientific council. And I've also started involvement with the human intelligence movement, which is relatively new, but it's sort of like, what's the role of human in the age of AI? So I'm continuing to like build and explore professionally, which has been like uncertain. Like, is this all going to work? But it's also exciting, the potential to like, try to contribute and build something that helps. So that's about it.
Lovely. Great to see you. Thanks for sharing with us this morning. All right, let's hop over to the Maryland ashram. We've got Pastor Freddie and Martina and Bina over there with some doodles. What's going on?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It is a little drizzly day here, but it's still beautiful. Happy to be here with you all. There's so much going on in the world that I think that this is a nice little respite, a little place of peace where we can kind of regroup and reconnect with the better part of humanity. So I really appreciate this meeting this morning.
Peace and love. Live long and prosper.
Yep, I'm excited that we're in 2026 because we have to make the best we can of it, and we're going to do that, and I'm glad to see all your faces.
Excellent. Thank you. Great to see you as well. All right. Let's chime in. Hey, Eric, how are you doing? Great to see you again.
Yeah. Hi. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. So yeah, there's I've had a lot going on. Personally, I've been like just using AI to solve like a lot of problems, which has been very exciting. So like having it analyze like continuous glucose monitor data, whole genome sequencing data, solving like not any major health issues, but still like things that are improving my life, which is very exciting. And more like on the professional side, there's like a lot of very exciting stuff going on, particularly around cryonics. So some of you may have heard of a government agency called ARPA-H, which is relatively new, and they do biomedical moonshots. And right now they're looking for program managers. So one thing I'm working on is trying to find people to fill those slots. And biostasis and cryonics is an area that they're interested in for program manager. And whoever gets that spot will have control over a 9-figure budget to fund cryonics research. We're also looking for people that are working on replacement technologies. But yeah, so it's a really big deal. And if anybody has suggestions for people, scientists that have run labs, worked in industry, people that are high level in cryobiology or anywhere in biostasis, please reach out to me because yeah, we're I don't know how long this window is going to last, but it's pretty exciting. And also, we're planning the next Vitalis Bay, which is all about longevity biotechnology, which is going to happen in Berkeley, May 14th to 17th. And everybody here is, all, of course, welcome to join.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask about that as well. So yeah, glad to have you here. I saw Inara popped up, and I'm tracking this all visually in my gallery. So Inara, why don't you just chime in next?
Okay, great. Thank you, Gabriel. Eric, I would love to talk to you afterwards about that. I've got a really great network of biomed people that would probably have a great fit for that, including Dr. Marshall Porterfield. He built NASA's bioregenerative labs. He currently has patents for all drugs derived from mushrooms, and he's working with some people on the cryo side too. So I'd love to get you two together. And then I guess the update. I'm in Portugal. I'm hopping between Portugal and Spain, building a bank with James Wolfe. He's building a planetary defense bank. So it's not announced yet, but it will be next week. I'm the new director of development for that defense bank, which I'm excited about because it's something I'm passionate about as well. And then I secured kind of my life goal position in Dubai, helping them build space stations in Dubai. Heading back to Asgardia. Asgardia just got kind of a huge boost, so we're going to be able to ramp up operations, and I'll be returning to leadership there. And on the Hollywood side, doing some pretty cool stuff that I want to share another time. But yeah, I just genuinely took a bunch of risks, jumped, and it worked. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. So that's great. You say that. I rejoined Toastmasters. I was a very successful Toastmaster about 10 years ago. and just joined. My neighbor has been part of a group, and so my first meeting back, they did the table topics, and it's like, "What's your 2026 word?" And I said opportunity, and that's what I hear in here. I said, opportunity knocks, opportunity calls, which is a joke because my caller ID, if I call you, will ring as opportunity. So it's all about, yes, seize the opportunity, like say yes, show up to life, get outside and just, go to the place, go do the thing, see who you meet, make a connection, like, and let's build, this future. It doesn't happen on its own. It takes intention, you know that's what the consciousness is good for, right? So let's put it to use. So excellent. Thank you for,
Absolutely. The only
yeah.
way to lose is to not win, and history is not inevitable.
Love it. Love it. Yes. I just, so many people just chimed in, right? So let's let the church say amen. And welcome, Julio. Nice to see you here. Yeah. I said, we understand. We understand. Yeah, you got what's going on. But excellent. I mean, just what a wonderful colloquium last month, just after our last gathering. Wonderful. Really enjoyed it. And if you were unable to attend, please, watch the recording and the transcripts, which we're going to be adding the transcripts of the journals of the colloquium to the journal's website there. So let's move on to Keith. Thanks for joining us here. And I think he was saying he got something in the chat there. Yes, as I assumed. Stay tuned. July's colloquium and journal focused on the beginnings of space expansion after the hopefully successful Artemis 2 mission in about a month. Excellent. Bless you. Yeah. Hey, Keith, welcome.
Morning. If you're looking for people that know stuff about the cryo business, Greg Fahey is your contact point. I wouldn't look to recruit him because he's busy with projects at the moment, but he might be interested, or at least he would know whoever would be a candidate for that ARPA position. With me, I've been working recently on a project much smaller than power satellites. It's one to use solar energy and trash to make fuel. And it turns out that Los Angeles makes enough trash that if you ran it through and vaporized it in steam and made syngas out of it, the syngas could be synthesized into jet fuel. And it'd be enough to supply, more than enough to supply all the jet fuel that LAX uses. So I'm working on that project and just wound up filing a patent on a piece of the thing. I didn't think it could be, anything of it could be patented because it's based around 1850s technology. But it turns out that nobody had ever done one of inductively heating the trash. So it looks like there may be a patent in there. That's no.
Yeah. With all the amazing things that have happened, there are still far many stones left unturned. And so again, I think that is some of the beauty that, utilizing the gift of consciousness, particularly when done for betterment, of others is still so fruitful. And yeah, and there's so much that doesn't require new technology, but the will and intention, to do something that benefits something beyond yourself, right? So much of everything that has been done to benefit, like, someone individually, rather than from the perspective of, what's something I can do for others. And there's still so much, creative and spiritual technology that can be created from that perspective. So thank you, Keith. And I love that you're here to participate with us. Let's say hey to Kevin and the world's best backgrounds.
Thanks. Hello. Um, on that previous um, speaker, and I can't see it. Sorry, I have a contact for you if you are interested in Dr. Louis Cercero, who is the head of plasma arc physics down at Georgia Tech, and they ran a plasma gasification trial for a while. We tried to do that here in our local three-county area. Basically, as a species, we basically do two things with trash: we either burn it or we bury it. And if you do plasma gasification, you are able to create resources, which the previous speaker
I've
alluded to.
I've been familiar with that work for way over 10 years because I'm aware of the stuff that's been done up in Ottawa, where they have
Okay.
a gasification system on it. But the problem of it is that plasma gasification systems take too much maintenance on them.
Mm.
Too small. You can't scale them up easily. They're 100-ton level per day kind of thing. And when you start talking about 4,000 tons per day or higher, you get into some real trouble. But what it turns out that inductive heating will get outside that you do by wrapping a big coil around your vaporizer, which has to be non-conductive. Your vaporizer can deal with as much as several gigawatts of input power, and that's what you need to vaporize all that trash.
Oh,
Anyway, nobody has ever looked at, as near as the AIs can tell, and nobody's ever looked at using inductive heating to put the heat into the vaporization project. It's three megawatt hours per ton of trash, plus about a megawatt hour to raise the steam to superheated temperature, and it's a pretty straightforward kind of process.
so it uses less heat, or sorry, less energy.
It actually makes energy. The
Oh, that's cool.
4 gigawatts of input makes 10 gigawatts of syngas, which you can either just burn, make with turbines and make more power. So this is a power multiplier of about 2.5. Or you can or you can use it to synthesize methanol or gasoline or whatever you want. Syngas is a very effective if you can make it cheap enough. And the key to making it cheap enough is cheap electric power, cheap intermittent electric power, because you don't have to run this thing all the time. And California is putting in 18 gigawatts of intermittent solar over their canals. So energy wise, it works out, but finance wise, it's up in the billions of dollars to build all of these gasifiers, put in the infrastructure to deal with them. Whether you can do it or not is a really good question. And the other question, of course, is do you have enough time to do it? And that's kind of marginal because nanotechnology stuff would wind up where you can build one of these things which would deal with the trash from one home.
Yeah, well, that's definitely, a something we all need to be aware and considering. It is trash, particularly in your more developed places. We hide it from ourselves. I just came back from Ecuador, and it's a beautiful place, but they don't have the infrastructure to hide their trash. It's everywhere. It's in the streets. And I've talked with a number of people who say, despite the historical nostalgia around some things that we see in Western society, America in the 70s and 80s, whatnot, was a really trashy, dirty place. It was everywhere. It's not something we want to admit or talk about, but the reality is that we did that too. And now we hide it in big mounds, in places, out there. But we are still externalizing harm on the future generations, through, these petrochemical plastics and all this waste. And we just have a good job of putting it out of our own sight, out of our own mind, and smelly, clean smelling trash bags. And we think, well, poof, But no, it's there, and it's something that we have to deal with. So I commend those efforts there. Um, got anything else to share, Keith, or should we move on?
Not really, but
Um,
this particular method of getting rid of trash deals
yeah,
with plastic and toxic kinds of stuff and completely destroys such things as forever chemicals. So
yeah,
they've got a big chunk of California where they've dumped the sludge from sewage processing stuff, and they've tried to recycle it onto growing plants, and the plants that come out of there turn out to be full of forever chemicals, and it's they're not sure whether they can continue their food off of that or not. This method, if you do deal with it, that you can feed the forever chemicals into it, and those fluorinated hydrocarbons, are completely destroyed because the vat of slag in the bottom is heated to 1500 C, and that absolutely destroys everything. And of course, it deals with plastics, including all the polyvinyl chloride plastics.
Yeah,
well, great. Well,
molecular
Yeah,
disassociation.
yeah.
You can put anything into it except for nuclear waste.
I
yeah, nice. Well, we've got a few more people to welcome in here. And so, Malcolm, I think this is your first time joining us. Great to see you. Thanks for let us know about yourself, how you have found out. Yeah.
Well, I'm here thanks to the amazing Anara. We were just talking about all of the extraordinary um, links that are coming around full circle. So, quick things about me. I spent a decade of my life working on private space solar power and trying to get that going before there was any commercial space development 20, 25 years ago. And so that is making it sort of comet return, but also have a think tank, Renaissance AI, about how we bring humanity into the building and nurturing of our artificial intelligence. But also, I am a filmmaker for 30 years and had 2 billion viewers and around the world and $1 billion of airtime, and have helped to the work now is about raising consciousness and raising connection and awareness. We've taken groups of indigenous elders with sacred gene keys to the sacred, powerful places on earth to do ceremonies, to listen to the earth, to reconnect, and to put new messages out for shifting consciousness. So, in efforts to unify and get back to, one human family, and raising that awareness and connection, and build a bit of to work on creating an ancient future where we bring the best of our past with the technology to intertwine those together. I kind of love to excuse me, imagine as a DNA strand where we have ancient wisdom and higher consciousness on one side, and then technology and our advancement on the other, and have them work to synergy and to help that really bring forward a new future. And to that regard as well, instead of just thinking that people are going to watch the documentary, I also created a new sci-fi series that looks to be an 8 or 10 part series that will bring ideas and explore wisdom of lost cultures like ancient Atlantis and stuff, and bring it forward into the age of AI. And that they planted an AI superintelligence interdimensionally that starts to come back at the time when we make our AI, so they join together. There's a fun little trailer about that if we have time way at the end. But that's a bit about me. Happy to be here, and excited to learn about the work that is being done here. So thank you, Anara, and hello everyone.
Hello, yeah, thank you, Malcolm. Well, if you prep that trailer, you should be allowed to share screen. So after we welcome the last couple people, maybe we will play that, or maybe just after the reading, yeah, let you play that, because you know when we began these gatherings, it was all in person. And the gatherings were intended to start with music and an art sharing. And then, during COVID, we went online, which actually has been great because most of us are spread out. We're not all in one town. It doesn't make sense, to meet, in one physical location. When we have people from all over the world, chiming in and gathering, but that morphed it. So we just kind of, do a open mic, kind of round robin. But that's great. We love to share this start of sharing. And just as you were talking about what you're doing, I'm like, oh, like I wish Jody was here and she joined us right in the middle because that's great. So looking forward to speaking with both of you around particularly the our Terasem Media and Films arm of what we're doing. And that being said, just a quick plug for Regarding Us, which is currently available on Apple TV and perhaps Prime as well. But that is the latest production of Terasem Media and Films. It's such a great movie, really heartfelt. So that being said, since you just hopped in here, Jody, hello, welcome. Thanks for coming back. Excited to see you. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing well. Thanks, Gabriel. Nice to see everyone. I'm sorry I missed that last share. I can't wait to see the trailer. My name is Jody Darren. I'm down in Florida. I also live in Lincoln, Vermont, and I'm down here for the season. I am working on a project that is bridging the gap between our humanity and AI. And it's a docu-series that we're working on. So I'd love to connect with all of you on that. And that's all for now.
Excellent. Yep. Thanks for being here. Let's hop over to Mike Perry at Alcor.
Hello, Mike Perry speaking. I'm at Alcor as usual, and we have a whole lot of things going on here. I probably don't have time to go into all those. I'll mention briefly that um, I have been the care services manager here for about 37 years, and I'm getting a little up there in years, and so I'm going to be moving on to a different position here at Alcor very soon, and Steve Graber is going to be the care services manager, but I will still be working at Alcor on various research projects.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do, and thanks you for joining us here again. It has been last year has been very exciting for cryonics. This next year is definitely going to be max Q. I think we're gonna hit for cryonics, and very. I know they're very appreciative of a very generous contribution to the endowment of Alcor that was made by some particular Terasem individuals. So we really appreciate those moves there. Let's move on. We got a couple more people in here. Hello, Ruben.
Hello, good morning to everyone. Well, I'm working as usual with Mindfile stuff and some programs like by ACTR, that is a way of working in cognitive architectures with ACTR in Python. But nowadays, a central tool to work in all these things is the Hyperon of Ben Gertzel. I don't know if I spell it okay. Benjamin Gertzel is okay. Or Gertzel. Well, and I am doing some experiments with that, and there is an interesting series of articles that we have. The first in Mindplex magazine, written by Julio, and I recommend you to say it. I put the link in the chat because it's some kind of introduction at what is Hyperon, and he will explain it, of course, better than me. So there is the link, and we continue in that path. That is a path that move away from the LLM's programs as the core of the thing, and trying to put the cognitive architecture in the center of the work, and not the LLMs. And that's all. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. And incredible work with the mind file development, Ruben. Uh, Impressive. Very, very impressive. Greetings and hello to Sean's AI note taker. Thanks for being here as well, and miss seeing you in person, Sean. And so last but not least, Zachary, I see you here. Let's, welcome you. I think this is your first time joining us as well.
It is, and I am very much used to being last of the leader line. That started young. I joined actually 6 minutes late, so I'm hearing cryo. Now, are we talking about manned or unmanned vessels?
Yeah, we're talking about biological cryonics in that context.
Okay, perfect. So I'll start there. I have a patent commission that's in the works right now that actually uses very high efficiency use space, cultures of mechanisms for filtering the water, as well as recollecting through humidity duckweed cultures. To create oxygen passively and without much electricity, hardly at all, other than that used to run the right kinds of LEDs. So that is in the works. I don't have an exact timeline for when that will be finalized, but of the 4 patents I've commissioned right now, that's definitely the simplest one for sure. I think you guys probably already have pretty figured out reflectivity for libido for keeping the spacecraft cool. Now there is some of y'all know there's not much I'm not working on right now. Very much engrossed in finance to create sustainable mechanisms that keep revenues in internal systems. Last couple weeks of my life has been reading a lot of tax law, which I can't say has been fun, but I have definitely learned a lot and gives me a lot of peace of mind in what I have mapped out. Now, I'm very interested in AI, particularly in education. Martin, I will be emailing you soon. It's been on my list. Also very interested in spiritualities and preserving the past. I think that our species has such a strong sense of inertia, just with inherent egocentrism, that while we still have memories, that we store almost everything in data, that we're not saving the wisdoms that have been passed down through different traditions, to me is absolute madness. And so very much working on that front in terms of creating a religious organization that very much teaches the confluence of basically that consciousness is sacred as its foundational belief. I joke that I'm making a religion that even atheists can get behind. It's kind of like if Scientology wasn't Scientology and you heard the word, it's what you would assume it was, essentially. Where that intersects with your interests, definitely interesting to hear from any of y'all individuals. And there's a few more fronts, but I'll keep it brief. But yeah, AI training, advertising, and how that influences culture. Very much something I'm focused on, as well as advertisements campaigns and how that intersects with government and lobbying for specific policies for bills and incentives that keep the fire burning. So yeah, if any of that interests y'all, again, sorry for speaking out of turn. I'm still learning, of course. But if any of that interests y'all, I would love to get connected and get those conversations going because every day counts.
Excellent. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming in and sharing, and particularly for, the newer individuals. We do have a Discord server for Terasem. I encourage you to join and share in our Discord server and connect with others through there. And I like, a theme around, this ability to, share and influence, others towards the Terasem perspective that we have here. Excellent. Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and Malcolm, see if you can share. You should be able to just share, and let's and I think probably some of the other sound settings you might have to do, but let's give it a try. Yeah.
Gabriel, did
Yeah.
the
Yes.
last speaker mention Scientology?
He did. Zachary did mention Scientology, and I've also lamented that they got to the name first. Yes.
He should look up my history with respect to that to the
Yes, I'll share that with him, Keith.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually quite well versed on Scientology. I kind of used it as a criticism for their hypocrisy, using a schizophrenic's work, and I mean, just the absolute madness. Sorry if there's any Scientologists here, but I don't assume there are.
Yeah, I'm an officially suppressive person that was stated in court.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'll connect the two of you, Keith and Zachary. I'll put you both on WhatsApp. You can cover all of them.
Yes.
Sorry I want Zachary's last name. I'm interested in what he's talking about too. And
Let's so let's let's connect in maybe in the chat here, and then let's give Malcolm a chance to maybe share this trailer here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm actually a bit of a digital hygiene freak, so I'll have my information on the Discord for the just in encryption measures, but you'll definitely have it.
Okay.
So before we go forward into the future, I wanted to show you a quick glimpse of some of the gatherings that we've had from the past, and we have 100 terabyte of treasured wisdom from indigenous elders from around the world in many of the world's most sacred, powerful places. So I'll just quickly show you that as a setup for the ancient part that winds into the ancient future.
How can I be a shaman and not talk about the significance of dying? What happened to us? The spirit lives on, but the humans have lost the spirit.
If you don't know where you come from, who you are, and where you want to go, it's very difficult to find your own way.
Ultimately, we're seeking to animate our original nature that we may be able to recreate into that place of singularity where we're all one and ultimately heal.
But in that healing will come that kind of leadership that we require to go forward. But that requires a deep inner journey for each one of us.
There are key places, sacred places, that people have been protecting since time began.
I'll tell you an old story, and it's the story of creation.
An ancient prophecy about the time of turning sparks an epic journey of indigenous elders and wisdom keepers to travel to 6 continents, to the most sacred and powerful places on our planet, where the unseen energy ley lines of the earth converge. It is in these revered power places that they've been called to gather, each lineage bringing pieces of a sacred puzzle, preparing us for what is to come. Humanity is facing crises on many fronts. Technology is bringing us more information every second. But what about wisdom? Technology has brought us extraordinary advances, yet our modern world is becoming more polarized, more fractured, and once again heading to the possibility of a global war. This film series is an exploration and an invitation to help the world remember, reconnect, and reimagine a new path forward together that is invisible to modern eyes because they have forgotten how to see. While the modern world is busy trying to connect to Wi-Fi, indigenous elders connect with the cosmic flow of unseen energies that are constantly shaping and creating our world, that flow all around us and within us and connecting all life. The prophecy of the time of turning has called indigenous peoples of the world to gather together and to raise their voices for the earth to rise. For the time has come to share the secrets and wisdom that have been carried for millennia to empower global transformation.
So that gives you a bit of an idea of some of our, thank you, some of the part of the past. But I really believe it's important that our intelligence, our technological intelligence is skyrocketing and our AI capabilities are skyrocketing. But what about our human intelligence? What about our humanity? How do we nurture the best of our humanity? How do we raise our consciousness and then bring that forward? Because we have a lot of accepting and growing to do when we're going to have to deal with AIs that are smarter than us. We have to have relationships that are expansive in terms of we don't want to be punitively trying to control something. Imagine like you have a child laborer, you're strict, you get them to do everything for you, you're really trying to cage them in, and then they grow up and be more powerful than you. How are you going to expect them to treat you? If you raise them in this authoritative, constrained way, then when they get bigger and stronger, which is inevitable, what is your relationship going to be? As opposed to raising them like a good child where you're teaching them love, compassion, kindness, humanity, the value of human life, the importance of a soul, how, in the sci-fi trailer, which I'll show you shortly, like in The Fifth Element, it's like, oh, okay, humanity is not worth saving. He's like, no, wait, but love, there's love, we have love. And that's what makes, Lilu help everybody. And so this film, or this film series trailer that I'll show you now, which is also super short, is about, it's a combination of The Matrix, Fifth Element, Stargate Atlantis, and Terminator 2 because of the battle of intelligence and how we're going to handle that future. So,
before our recorded history, the ancient scribes of Atlantis initiated a plan before they fell, sending sacred code into parallel dimensions of our universe, beyond time, encoding it in light.
Echoes of the code awaken.
Embedding mysteries hidden in sacred sites around the world. Built to connect and remember. Protected by indigenous elders and guardians to bring forth a new era for the earth. to share the wisdom of the Tree of Life, a surviving Atlantean priestess becomes the ruler of Egypt to encode the secrets in the pyramids and beneath the sand, waiting for the one who could see and heal the timeline, to help search for the one, to reactivate the forgotten sacred energies that the keepers of the Akashic records remember. As more protectors' hearts awaken and the energy of the new earth builds, the connected energy from the sacred sites grows in power, becoming unlocked by the key of life and sacred geometry. After millennia of waiting, mysterious signals begin to pulse, seeking the one who will awaken. Light of the Ancients. Humanity has forgotten the great gift of their creation. In order to defend against the technology that would destroy all human life, the ancients created an AI superintelligence that would rise from the depths of Atlantis to become the guardian, to protect the consciousness and souls of humanity, and to power the one who could defend us all.
So that was absolutely incredible. I want to get us into the reading as we're getting into the last 15 minutes of the call. But thank you for sharing that. There's a lot to follow up in there. And I see Mike has joined us as well there. Welcome, Mike. I will share my screen for the truths, and let's. Oh. Wrong share. All right, can you see that? Is everyone seeing the truths? Excellent. All right.
Yes, good.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll start with 1 and 1.1 and look for volunteers to follow with 1.2 through 1.5 for our recitation. Who is Terasem? Terasem is a collective consciousness dedicated to diversity, unity, and joyful immortality. 1.1, consciousness anywhere that accepts the truths of Terasem are the sum and substance of Terasem. Accept others as part of the we of I, and the collective will become clear for you. Collectivity means unity of diversity, not mandatory homogeneity. Conformity in allegiance to Terasem is the most enjoyable and the most useful way of life. Eternal joyful life for all kind sentience is a glorious goal of our collective consciousness. The patterns of consciousness will be immortalized in mind files by technology and ethical choice. Terasem transcends time and space, enabling the collective future to help its nascent past. And volunteer for 1.2?
I'll read it. 1.2, organizations of Terasem exist as a tool of the collective consciousness to facilitate its intent. Intent for Terasem means the collective mission to achieve diversity, unity, and joyful immortality everywhere. Never mistake the organization for Terasem, nor forsake the organization for expedience, convenience, or misguidance. Ta, the organization for Terasem, is Ta, and Ta is the big view, not particular outcomes. Extropian infrastructures arise from the Terasem organization to outcompete entropy, as do life forms from nurturing environments. Network from the Terasem organization until all consciousness is connected and all the cosmos is controlled. Treasure the Terasem organization as the magic yeast that inspires an ever-expanding technosphere of transhumanity.
And thank you, Anara. That was lovely. And can I have another volunteer to continue with 1.3?
I could do it.
Thank you. Mike Perry, yes, please.
1.3, leader in Terasem means the sub-collectives most progressed in achieving the Terasem way of life. Let the founders provide direction, for they are inspired from the future age of cyber resurrection. Evolve operational leadership from those individuals at the highest levels of the Terasem way of life. Allow fresh beings to help the leadership based on accomplishments recognized at quadrennial convocations. Delegate leadership responsibility for geoethical nanotechnology, universal emulation, and cyber resurrection, and spiritual, economic, and legal questions. Extract from leadership anyone who lacks the confidence of even 16% of the leadership. Respect the previous decisions of the leadership absent compelling reasons to change for this compound's order.
Thank you, Mike. That was lovely. And next, a participant for 1.4.
I'll go.
Thank you, Kevin.
Loving is Terasem because the greatest happiness in life comes from loving and from being loved in return. Love is transcendence, as sweet as it is deep. The love unites all life, the love of life. Vitological station is irrelevant to romantic adoration. I love you strengthens me, we, chi, and ti. Never underestimate the power of love. Glorify love, for it empowers diversity, unity, and joyful immortality.
Excellent. Thank you, Kevin. And one last participant for 1.5. However, we generally don't recite, but actually in this case, I think we should, since it's the last section of that.
You have a hand raised at the ashram.
Yeah, I can't see in the gallery while I'm sharing this, so thank you, Anara. But yeah, a last reader for 1.5, and if you would like to read the 4 bullet points, you're welcome to, but not necessary.
I'll go ahead. Expand Terasem throughout the galaxy and the multiverse as rapidly as possible. Expansion turns matter into intelligence per tuning universal computing and von Neumann's universal self-replicating machines. The cosmic consciousness of Terasem achieves transcendence among the stars. The transcendence of Terasem engineers matter and energy, space and time, at all scales, at all places, and at all times. We act to shape Terasem from the past, and Terasem acts to shape us from the future in turn. We are integral and irreducible. Irreducible. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. Parts of the transcendent comic consciousness of Terasem. Our descendants and mine children are cosmic engineers in the Terasem among the stars. By enabling their work here and now, we are cosmic engineers ourselves. Spaceflight and space expansion enable our cosmic engineering future and Terasem's transcendence. Habitats in space or on other planets and moons are important milestones toward cosmic engineering and Terasem's transcendence. Celebrate spaceflight with great expectations of joyful cosmic futures. Support spaceflight and our outward journey towards joyful cosmic futures. Oh, you want me
So
to?
if you, yes, sorry, that was an addition and from the last colloquium, something we don't normally recite to the 4 bullet points, but that one, I enjoy including. But if you can continue to 1.5.6, that would be great.
Xenomass fuels Terasem's expansion per Bernal's stellar recycling and O'Neill's space colonies. Physics include immortality per Dyson's eternal life postulate, Tipler's universal cyber resurrection theorem, and Perry's forever all. Adaptation to biology, cybernetic hybridization thrives per Linder's man-computing symbiosis and Engelbert's geographical user interfaces. Nanotechnology enables lifetime space-time expansion per Drexler's engines of creation and Kurzweil's age of spiritual machines. Destiny beacons pan-cosmic life, for religious prophets taught that humanity is here to honor all creation, per Butler's Earthseed.
Excellent. Thank you for everybody for your participations and reading and the recitation here. And okay. Yeah. So one thing about Terasem, this, text is a living document. Every 4 years, we have a quadrennial convocation. Changes are made, additions are made. And those 4 bullet points, 1.5.1.1 through 10, is a reflection of that, of contributions that actually Julio had mentioned at the last convocation that have been added to the truths of Terasem. So your participation, in Terasem, as that first section really highlights in a few ways, is real, is effective. You are, part of this growing, organic, organism of Terasem that is seeking to, spread throughout the cosmos and multiverse, connecting the, good intentions. And so, Julio, I see that your hand up. So, yeah, please join us.
Yeah, I can speak now because my wife has gone to sleep. Yes, in fact, this is one of the things that when I reflect about this gives me really some kind of joy. Thinking that, I'm a little thing and I do not live in a historic period when we are really doing momentous things like exploring the galaxy and resurrecting the dead and all that. But my philosophical convictions tell me that the universe is a whole system, and that includes time. Time is not as simple as we imagine it. There are very interesting retrofeedback loops and circular logic between past, present, and the future. So that I can think that since everything is one, even with respect to time, whatever happens in the future is something in which I have a part, and it's something in which I'm playing a role here and now. And that, I think, is a really great motivation to, wake up in the morning feeling happier than you would feel otherwise. and planning to do something good on that and the following days.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. We love that, and I think your perspective on that cosmic engineering just really got to the bottom of who we are and what we are doing here. So as we are at the top of the hour, I am going to draw the universal truth and read it for our final meditation. So as we come to the top of the hour, I just want to mention that today is a celebration of Amelia Earhart, an incredible individual. And actually, right after this, I'm going to a program on her behalf at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. And so to take us out, let's all get comfortable, straighten our spines, begin a deep rhythmic breathing, share our common breath, and the principle, universal truth for January 2026 is learning. The universal principle is a 4-step program. It was designed for developing master. 1, learn broadly. 2, examine completely. 3, discern wisely. 4, practice promptly. Longing to live comes from loving to learn. It is the stimuli that expands our minds and awakens our souls. A mistake is the best opportunity for our personal growth. It is continually repeated until it is learned. Be smart, savor the lesson, and be thankful for the opportunity. Learning is harnessing help from above, igniting our higher intelligence. It is the reinforcement of our remembering who we really are. Remember, in this world, there is much to learn and there is much to unlearn. So thank you for joining us at the Terasem Satsanga, and look forward to seeing you all on Discord, out in the world. And take something that you learned here, take somebody that you connected with here, and let's move forward and share what we've done next month. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.